Hello guys, we're back at the bend for the track championship. Some bloody nice cars here. Got to have a look at this Dodge over here. The paint job on this Dodge is just immaculate. Hopefully the volume's working better. Oh. Thing's immaculate in the paint. Hopefully you can hear me better than the last video anyway. Not a very big crowd here, there's plenty of cars. This thing is so good. Racing up happening. Yeah, bloody nice cars here for sure. Nice Cortina. Bob Cherry, the legend. There you go, Bob. Yeah, he's based in Murray Bridge now, Bob is. Part of the Sherry Foster Racing, I think it's called. That's with Lisa and Dave. Barra Alton. Go up the top. I'll be back. Off again with a good paint job.
Over the finish line, 9:31 at 149 mile per hour blast for the red machine, and a 9:68 or 66.
The girl with the Barra
coming up.
Alton, I guess it is.
This weekend, thanks
to see how that thing goes.
Race car trailers up there at Mount Barker, a family-owned business run up there in the Mount. Over 20 years they've been going in fabrication and vehicle bodybuilding over the transporters, and they build everything, of course, designed to the latest national standards for vehicle safety. And no matter what form of motorsport you're in, JTR can custom design and build your dream trailer for your race machine. So let's keep an eye on that as Modified now comes up to the start line with JTR race car trailers.
The blue car's got a Barra. The car on the far lane's got a LS, I think. That's round, it's nice too. Barras are bloody quick.
In lane 2, the summer lane race slow at 9:58 at 135.52 mile-hour pass down there in the bullet lane. They're sitting around out here, the same with Modified, and good stuff coming out here once again.
Look at the paint on it.
We keep an eye on what board that is, JTR race.
It's a little Fiat Bambini or something.
Yeah, the vinyl's a fine line between silver and paint. 68.2 mile per hour for Anthony to an 875 at 149 mile per hour, even down there for the Yellow Roadster with Beta. But good run coming out those. Sam Cardinale out here, let's move on with these boys and we'll get the paperwork happening as we continue on. This afternoon out here at the drag strip, and it'd be nice to be coming out here once again. Let's have a look and see where we're up to with this one out here. Right, Sam Cardinale, the guy in the red machine out here, he's in the second position of the point series at the moment of 140. In fact, he's in the same as Dave Foster, both sitting on 140 as I speak, okay? But I've got no info in lane 2 at the moment. I couldn't tell you. But nevertheless, I should say, no great dramas with that. As we keep things happening out here on to the drag. Second qualifier here for Top Sportsman Eliminator and Top Sportsman this weekend. Yes, thank you to Olympic Industries for their great support out here to keep it all continuing on. Rightio, we move on and get the two drivers ready for their second chance at qualifying, and we'll see how well these boys can run out here. As I said, Top Sportsman, Olympic Industries are the guys bringing it to the race.
Yeah, local legend Dave Foster in his Chev. This thing's quick. I'm pretty sure he won the championship last year. So.
Number 1 point series at the moment, Dave Foster out in lane number 2 with that lovely Chevy down there. The low Chevy, low slugger machine out there. Good looking car, and Dave has really got some great grips on this car over the seasons, and he's really very, very comfortable in the office down there now when it comes to eliminations, and he's very, very sharp, but you've got to be, because a lot of guys around him are also very sharp. We go over to lane 1 out here this afternoon, and of course the Bullet Race Engineering lane. There's Graham Horner from Horner Performance.
That car was pretty quick too. I know that car.
Has been 69 at 200 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure off of memory or around the mark, it wasn't far off of it, but to make it do that, everything has to be right. He's got to try and make it stick on the start line. And with the twin turbo, the LS power plant under the hood, pretty tough, but he's always at it, which is great to see. But he's a good car and he's a good operator. Dave and look at that, he took it easy off the start line, and then it broke out the tyre smoke with a 741 at 184.63 miles per hour for Dave Foster. And we go back to our Horner out there, the twin turbo, when that comes on, it comes on so strong in the boost, and the tyres just don't hold on the racetrack. But he was soft off the very start line with the last run before that. It smoked.
Nice and BC. Back to lane 1, 9.91 to the Chrysler. That's good to a 10. Don't worry about it. Censure, Shane Kramer, Dave Lee Race Motors.
In the early afternoons, they picked up 3 miles per hour down there. That was a good drive, and he's getting a handle now on that. Off early, way early, 6:21 or 8:21, my apologies, only 100 mile per hour. It cleared the screen so quickly, I didn't get that picked up. But we're getting there slowly but surely out there. The guys have been very, very quick. And I'll be moving on now, I believe, to modified bikes.
Hemi Centura.
Okay, folks, as I was saying, this part is very important for these two guys out there, because whoever's going to win is going to collect 100 points from the previous event. Michael Bridges in lane 1, a dial in 11.270. We go over to lane 2 with Kevin Dark from Portland in Victoria, that good looking little Tirana down there, the LJ, and he's got a dial of 10.51. The handicap is going to be 0.76 to the left hand side lane for the Chrysler Centura. He will leave first, and then Kevin Dark's going to chase him down the racetrack. Who's it going to be? The winning time, Kevin Dark goes at 10.58 on that 10.51 at 127 mile per hour. Michael Bridges 11.339 on 110 mile per hour blast out there, but it's the reaction time from that black Holden Tirana drive out that just won him 100 points compared to 80 going back to Michael Bridges. So that's going to happen. Now we're going to go back to, of course, qualifying for Super Street Eliminator. So that's where we're up to right now, okay? Righto, this pairing coming up now. We've got Ken Borg out here in lane 1 on board the 74 model TD Cortina for Barker Boy Fresh Produce. And the Georgia Stephanopoulos out here coming out from Riverton on board her 2005 Ford Falcon out here to continue on round 3 of qualifying here this afternoon. Georgia, you're starting to get better and better as the
Another tough Centura, really, V8.
Young girl. We move on now with George Ritchie. George Ritchie from Parra Hills on board the 73 Model 3 litre powered Holden Torana. George is in the 9th qualifying spot at the moment, so we're looking sharp, and that's starting to look really good out here, no problem. Right, we move on now with the next pairing coming our way, Michael Jennings and Kevin Cooper. They're the 2 drivers coming up now. Kevin Cooper from Onkaparinga Hills in the VC Commodore 347 powered machine. He's down there in the bullet lane. We go back to Michael Jennings from Valley View, the 65. Kevin, quicker car, 10.554, 131.28 miles per hour. Naomi, but Brett heads down to the Goodyear race finish line, 10.46 at 129 miles per hour. His best 8.1 miles per hour. Not a bad effort coming out from Parks and Portland, a good driver, that young man out there. We move on now with Barry Ross on board the Holden EH powered by the 400 small block Chevy, looked after by ULX race proven oils, and we go over to Peter Damanos. Peter on board the Lubbock Chevy comes on at the deep end of the track, but the Chrysler goes there with a 10.57 at 124.
Oh, it's looking all right.
Moving on now with Danny Quilty. Danny down there on board the 86 model Barra Turbo under the hood down there, looked after by Hawk Trucking, Adelaide Retaining Walls, and Smetty's Mechanical. Tracy Henley from Mount Candia. Which is great to see him going down the racetrack, but Danny Quilty out here goes with a quicker ET, 10.21 at 113 mile per hour. Tracy's getting quick, and Shot Auto Supplies getting behind him. We go to Lisa Teresa out here, Lisa from Portland. Great to see Lisa here this weekend, and on board the 95 model Commodore powered by the 355 Oldham. Looked after by Sammy from Willful Damage and also South Coast Raceway. Great to have you this weekend, Lisa, and I'm pretty sure second and third gear, changing those gears. I turn out right, Krishka, so keep on the right side. But some good stuff happening out there at the same time as we continue on now. We move on to Lance Larkham coming our way shortly, and also I believe young Jack is coming up now. Okay, folks, here's another one coming up. This is a final to be run. Let's have a look out here now from the last run of the last event out here, and I'll get this checked out. continue on with the qualifying in Super Sedan out here. So a lot of things happening, folks. A lot of things happening. Friday in Super Sedan for the weekend. Bullet Race Engineering. Thank you so much to Bullet Race. Steve Pack out here. Steve running the AA Holden HJ Monaro supercharged 416 engine down. Steve 8.885 at 152 mile per hour. Steve Muzzy in lane 2 986 at 138.1. Sharp out there. Debut, quickest run of the day, 8.911 at 150
That ain't you.
mile per hour. The Robert Cardone goes
Another Mopo or no car? We got Lisa back there, she's going to have a go in a minute.
139.38 miles per hour. So good work. Coming up now, on board the 69, powered by the 434 small block Chevy, Jazz Automotive, Penrite Oil, and also JSR. And Complete Auto Electrical. We go to Wayne Cuzner in the Chrysler Ute down here, powered by, of course, Cuzner Performance, the 14 small block Chrysler. And this is their last chance at qualifying right now to see if either can go quicker than their previous runs. And that Jim at 970, 437. Wayne Cuzner, Wayne's had a few problems getting on that track. Wayne now is consistent, 137 mile per hour. Well
Lisa.
done, Wayne. 10.57 at
Dave's other half.
129. You're back to where you started.
He's her half.
Before your problems out
Another
here in the
legend.
last two
Been around for a long
qualifiers. So well
time.
done, Red lights down here on Bradsfield.
Yeah, Alex has been racing for a long time. Always well presented car, beautiful. That arm's pretty good too. Looks like an injection in there. Righto, go Lisa. comes that beautiful Dodge.
That was the lad I was looking for earlier on. Corey, good to see him out here. Not the EJ, but the EH panel van. They made one of the EJ. So 1965 with a 406 Holden, looked after by work and play trailers. Good to have you, Corey. You're down there, of course, in the bullet race. Lane 1 to a 957 at 142.80 mile per hour. That's the blast down there in lane 2, the Summit Racing Lane.
Yeah, it is a Fiat Topolino, old school style. That's really cool. So consistent at the point series, but nevertheless competing out here today for the event itself. So love to see Graham get the car to stick on the racetrack just a little bit more and get an ET down. The car is capable of going quick, and I'm talking super quick. So let's go back to our Brian Keane, Graham Horner in this qualifier now as we speak. Let's have a look. Consistent Brian Keane. Comes Dave Foster, the other half of Lisa, we saw earlier.
Some good racing here in eliminations later on. This is going to be sharp, real sharp. So Warner still going to the finish line. Forget that 23 seconds at 34.
That got that when we first got here.
Mile per hour in the V8 Commodore.
See how it goes.
But not to be today. We're going to move on now with Dave Foster and also Brett Matthews. Now, Brett Matthews, this car here has been around for a long time, but not in this disguise. It's a Holden HT Prem out here, the HT version. And it's a big block shower, powered twin turbo entry with Brett behind with that Spry symbol, of course, Burst is up here in the bridge, Sherry competition, and also Valvoline. They are the starters, or the sponsors, I should say, for David Foster here this afternoon. This is their last shot at qualifying also for this pairing coming up in Top Sports Eliminator. And Top Sports, and a big thank you to Olympic Industries for getting behind these guys once again. They've been going since 1969, ladies and gentlemen, constructing everything that you want from the smallest little shed to the largest industrial building. So them in mind, Olympic Industries.
Righto.
And a little bit off his best run, but look at that for Brett Matthews. Again, another twin. Come up 10-1 and a 10-1 or 10-0 and a 10-1. So at the moment,